I can't be fucking bothered with my hair. I'm gonna next time you see me bald, just gonna shave it off. February, fucking bald month. Fuck hair. I really liked Booksmart. Booksmart's fucking dope as fuck. I like it a lot. It's really good. It's a very good movie. At its most absurd, it reminds you of Better Off Dead, and at its most tender, it's reminiscent of John Hughes. But the coolest thing about it is there's a remarkable amount of individuality. This film has its own personality, and love the characters. I think that the comedy is really clever, really fucking funny movie. Got me to laugh a lot of times. And the visual composition, I think, is delightful. Olivia Wilde directed this film remarkably well. I thought it was altogether awesome experience. Great movie. Tells the story of two academic overachievers who realize that they have squandered their high school years because they hadn't done anything fun ever. So they take the one night before graduation to make all of the bad mistakes, 4 years worth of regrettable decision making in one night. Go to a bunch of different parties and throughout the course of the teen comedy, we are able to really interact with a lot of interesting things in ways that never feel inauthentic. There's four different writers on this film, and somehow there's still a great level of a unified authenticity to the writing, and the writing feels clever, and it doesn't feel like four separate voices. It feels like one unified one, which is exciting. About a month ago, I covered Ladybird on the channel. And I remember raving about Beanie Feldstein in it. I thought she was the best part of Lady Bird, and seeing her as one of the leads in Booksmart, I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, cool, cool! I'm a Beanie Feldstein fans, everybody." I thought her performance in Booksmart was even better than her performance in Lady Bird. So much sensitivity, and she's a great comedian. And just a electrifying sort of performer. There's an electric presence to her. I'm always excited because there's always like such a remarkable amount of pathos and pity, but also this like unpredictability to her. And yeah, I just think she's wonderful. Caitlin Dever plays the other lead in the film, and she's great too. They balance each other out beautifully. Beautifully. I think unfairly, although I understand, the film gets compared to Superbad quite a bit, like a reskinned Superbad, which I don't think is very fair, but I get it. The similar themes, similar dynamics. Michael Cera and Jonah Hill had remarkable chemistry, and they vibed with each other beautifully and cinematically. Here, Caitlin Dever and Beanie Feldstein have remarkable chemistry as well. That is similar to the dynamic that we saw in Superbad, but I think it's a little unfair to just say it's like a girl version of Superbad, considering that Superbad isn't an entirely original idea in and of itself either, right? Um, and also, Superbad, while I like the film, doesn't have an ounce of the tenderness and the sensitivity and like the actual like emotional qualities that can be found in Booksmart. You can't find those in Superbad. And I'm not saying Superbad's emotionless, but I am saying that that Superbad is a good movie, whereas Booksmart is a great one. This film has a wonderful supporting cast, like lovely supporting cast of characters, all memorable and unique in their own way. If I could single one out, it'd be Billy Lord as Gigi. She's incredible. I'd like it if she became a legendary teen film character. She's wild and so funny and so alien and peculiar and like pretty. I love her character so much. That's such a cool character, man. Um, so if we're gonna analyze this film. We're going to approach it from this angle. which is Booksmart to me is such like a jubilant experience. It's such like a riotous one. It is a liberating experience watching this movie, and like the audience, I feel like I'm completely invited to interact and engage and laugh along with all of these different characters and kind of like remember my own youth or even think about the youth of today. Booksmart is a jubilee. I love it. And I feel that it's a celebration. So then we have to ask, okay, what is it celebrating? Specifically. It's celebrating debauchery. It's celebrating poor decisions. It's celebrating being young and being stupid and being multifaceted and real. And how you only learn that these standard archetypes, like all these different people that you saw in high school or, anywhere, and you have your own preconceived notions of who they are. Like you feel like you know everything about everyone. But that's never true. We know that's never true. People have multitudes. There's a lot of different cogs in motion in each individual person. But how do you find that out? You find that out by actually socializing with them. And I think you primarily find out about the different components of the people around you by fucking partying with them, by doing drugs and getting drunk with them. That's when you really start to see these different sorts of aspects of their characters. And possibly Booksmart is celebrating the idea that young people, in order to truly engage with their authentic selves, they have to engage in kinds of rites of passage or the ritualistic nature of parties. And that if you don't, if you deprive yourself of that, then you're not really engaging with who you are authentically as you're coming of age. And that's why there's so much like built up tension between our two leads. And there are so many like revelatory experiences as told for us in extremely fascinatingly and cleverly comedic ways uh, concerning the people that they surround themselves with or have been surrounded by like since the seventh grade that actually are really complicated or mostly decent people that they just didn't know. And you can't know that if you never socialize with them, if you never interact with them. There's an experiential quality to coming of age that I think is just so important. And this film gets like straight to the viscera of it. This film is like, you have to party with them because that's when you get those conversations like with Triple A in the car driving Molly home. And we're able to see not only the complexities or really the authenticity within Triple A's character, but we're also able to spotlight a sensitive moment between two people who would never have been in this circumstance had it not been for the wild night that they had had. And it doesn't betray the comedy of the piece because the comedy is constantly with us. It's a brilliantly written film that I think is marvelously directed. Olivia Wilde, at least with Booksmart, I haven't seen her other films. I've heard I haven't heard the greatest things about the rest of her work. Whatever, I don't really care. In Booksmart, her craft is oof, very impressive, very cool, very good, um, very urgent, and I think that a visual urgency certainly makes coming of age films and definitely comedies more powerful, because comedy has to rely on a certain kind of unpredictable component of its visual design in order to have every sort of joke kind of translate and surprise the viewer. And Olivia Wilde's composition certainly did that within Booksmart. Yeah, I thought Beanie Feldstein's performance was shockingly good. She ran the whole gamut of the emotional spectrum throughout this movie, and I felt every one of them, like she's great. That was great. So captivated by her. She's fucking phenomenal, dude. I think it's a great teen film. I think it's a great teen film that celebrates the complexities of every teenager, right? That it celebrates the complexities of teenagers and the ritualistic ways that those complexities reveal themselves, which are at parties, which are when you're high, when you're drunk, and when you're horny. Like that's when they reveal themselves. And it's those complexities that you can either incorporate into your personality when you're younger, or you're going to spend your entire adult life repressing and never quite understanding fully or completely. Um, Comprehending who you are at your most authentic, uh, that's one of the greatest challenges that face people when they come to maturity, but it's also one of the most necessary things that you must do if you seek to come of age. Booksmart's very, very funny. It's very, very well made, very well acted, and the characters I think are extremely good. I think it's an extremely good teen movie for sure. Just fucking loved my time with it. I loved my experience with it, and it's definitely one I'm gonna rewatch. It's definitely one I'm gonna revisit, hopefully time and time again, because there's so much good here. And at its core, it is a tale of friendship. But friendships become deeper when you're able to interact with each other in all scopes of ways. Just like I said, through Molly, with from Beanie Feldstein's performance, we're able to run the entire spectrum of emotion. We're also able to. Like friendship's also on a spectrum, and you need to run the entire spectrum of emotion through friendship, and that's how it becomes kind of stronger. I do fucking love this movie. I think it's great, and I think it says a lot of things about friendship, and even more things about authenticity and about the unique liberation of teenagers and how they can feel that almost effortlessly. And if you're ever going to be jealous of youth, be jealous of that because it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, these 2 girls are awesome, they're great, they're cool characters, loved being around them, and I'm also sure that the film is saying quite a few things about the power of female friendship and all sorts of stuff like that, but I'm not necessarily the person to comment on it, and I don't think, like, you specifically have to view it through that lens, but there is certainly, like, a feminist quality to the film that shouldn't be overlooked or go unsaid. There is one to this film. It's just there are all these other qualities that I think are even stronger and I think even more relevant and potent. I really loved Booksmart. I thought it was great. And that's about it. That's about it, though. This movie was just fucking art. It was so great. And that's me, your cult boyfriend, signing out. Did they say signing out or signing off? Signing off, they say. That's me, your cult boyfriend, signing off.